Everybody wants independence for their parents until independence starts costing them their quality of life.
Hey loves, welcome to A Touch of Love Talks podcast. I'm Lovie Baxter, family nurse practitioner, master's level social worker, and certified dementia practitioner. I'm so glad you're here. This is a safe space to talk about the challenges of taking care of your aging family member. I'm going to teach you how to protect your peace. Make sure you are informed and supported through this difficult journey. So you made it. You're in the right place at the right time to get the right information. Get comfortable, kick back, and let's dive in.
Today, we are talking about one of the hardest conversations families ever have. Mom and dad are needing more help, but refusing to leave home. Ooh, child, let me tell you something. This topic right here, this one causes family drama. Hello, drama. This one causes sibling fights. Boom, 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 fighting each other. This one causes guilt, burnout, tears in the parking lot after doctor appointments. And honestly, some of y'all listening are in the middle of this situation right now. Your parent is declining. You know they need more support. But every conversation turned into an argument. And now everybody's stressed out because families are trying to balance two things at once: respecting independence while also acknowledging reality. And sometimes reality hurts because there comes a point where love alone is no longer enough to hold everything together. You know, love does not replace the level of care someone actually needs. It just doesn't. So you have to ensure that your loved ones get exactly what they need. So let me paint the picture. Mom has fallen twice this year, okay? Dad keeps forgetting medications. The refrigerator smells horrible. Been there, done that. Bills are piled up, they're unopened. The same stories are being repeated over and over and over again. But every time somebody says, maybe we should look into more help, here it comes. Here it comes. I'm not leaving my house. Y'all just want control. I've lived here for 40 years. I'm fine. Stop treating me like a child. And it goes on and on and on. And immediately everybody shuts down emotionally. You got one sibling crying, one defensive, one sibling barely helping suddenly becomes the expert on caregiving. Meanwhile, that one child, usually, that's carrying all the responsibility still is drowning. They're missing work, they're losing sleep, and they're mentally exhausted, trying to keep it together. A situation that is becoming harder and harder to manage. And this is where resentment starts building, if you want to be honest, because caregiving imbalance will expose family dysfunction fast. The sibling doing the least amount of work is usually the loudest. I'm just saying, usually that's the one that is got the most to say in the situation. And I need families to understand something. Decline does not stop because the family is uncomfortable discussing it. Oh my goodness. It doesn't stop, y'all. So families don't avoid these conversations because they don't care. They avoid them because the truth hurts. But we got to face it. We got to get to the point where we are very comfortable talking about end of life or talking about changes in senior care. Let's talk about the signs that families ignore. Families keep waiting for some huge dramatic moment, but most decline happens quietly, right? We've talked about that before. It starts small, very, very small. Missed medications, weight loss, confusion at night, expired food, missed appointments. All of these small, small details, even ADL care starts slipping. They're not bathing consistently. Isolation, don't forget about that one. They used to like to go places, now they don't want to go anywhere. Repeated falls, heaven forbid that one happens. Forgetting to pay bills, losing track of time. And families tend to normalize that. Oh, that's just old age, or oh, she's always been forgetful. Here's for my men out there. Oh, he's just stubborn. That's just dad. No. Sometimes families are minimizing serious decline because emotionally they're just not ready to accept what's happening. And I understand that because acknowledging decline feels painful. It feels like losing pieces of your parent in slow, slow motion. But pretending things are manageable does not make them manageable. It doesn't. Denial delays support, but decline keeps progressing anyway. So let's talk about why seniors fight help so hard. Now let's talk about the emotional side of this, because all know I have to type into the emotional side. Seniors are not just being difficult for no reason. That home that they're protecting when they say they don't want to leave their home, it represents identity. It represents routine, comfort, control, memories, familiarity. So when families start talking about caregivers or placement or going somewhere or even needing help, right? Many seniors hear you're losing your freedom. They fear everything, and fear makes people defensive. Y'all know that, especially older adults who spent their entire lives taking care of other people. Now, suddenly, people are trying to help them. And that role reversal feels humiliating. It feels scary. And especially for my strong parents, especially parents who have always handled everything. Especially my fathers out there who were the providers. Now somebody's got to take care of them? Say what? Especially mothers who have raised entire families. How you going to take care of mama now? Now suddenly somebody wants to help them shower, manage their medications, or monitor what they are going to eat? Are you really telling me this? That's emotionally difficult. And families have to approach these conversations with compassion instead of force because nobody responds well to feeling controlled. You don't have to be Scooby-Doo to figure that one out, okay? Nobody likes control. Sometimes my seniors are not fighting help. They're fighting the fear of losing themselves. That's all it is. That's what they're fighting. They don't want to lose themselves. So let's talk about the child doing everything. Being a caregiver as a child is interesting. I'll leave it there, okay? Because there's usually one child doing most of the work, and that child is overwhelmed. That child is answering the late night phone calls. What else are they doing? Going to the doctor appointments, managing medications. Help me with the list, y'all. Handling emergencies and basically trying to hold everything together, right? Meanwhile, the rest of the family, well, let's just say they're involved, but they're not involved, right? Let's say the rest of the family, they're saying, well, just let mom stay home if that's what she wants. Easy to say when you aren't the one carrying the responsibility, right? Caregiving looks different when you are the one actually doing it every single day. And sometimes caregivers, I'm just saying, they feel trapped between guilt and exhaustion. And that's a crazy street to be on, okay? Because they love their parents deeply, but they also know the current situation is becoming unsustainable. If you are residing on the street of exhaustion and overwhelmed, that's not good. The most overwhelmed person in the family is usually the one closest to the truth. Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? I'm just saying, I want y'all to hear me. So I have a letter that I want you all to listen to. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. Dear Lovey, my mother insists she can continue living alone. But honestly, I don't think she realizes how much assistance she really needs. Okay. I'm the one buying groceries. Here we go. Organizing medications, paying bills, checking on her constantly, and making sure that she eats. My brothers think I'm overreacting. I told y'all this is how it plays out because they only see her occasionally. But I'm exhausted. And every time I bring up more help, she cries and says, we're trying to throw her away. I don't know what to do anymore. Ooh, child. I told y'all this is how it plays out. When you are that close to the situation and you know what's going on, it's hard. It's hard. So, first of all, to the caregiver who wrote this beautiful letter in, thank you. I appreciate you. But listen, you are not crazy. And you are not a bad child for acknowledging that somebody may need more support. Families have to stop waiting for absolute disaster before taking action. Don't wait till it all falls apart. Because sometimes people survive situations they should have never been left managing alone in the first place. Waiting for a crisis is not a care plan. I just don't want you to wait. I want you to make the decision for your mom now. Make the decision now before something happens. Your letter was straight and to the point. Get your mom some help. Okay? So instead of asking, what does your mom want? Families should ask, can she realistically manage daily life independently? Is she eating consistently? Can she manage medications correctly? Is she isolated? Is she becoming confused? All of these are questions that you need to ask so that you know how to respond. Okay? And speaking of responding, can your mom even respond in case of an emergency? Is the current setup emotionally and physically sustainable? Those are the questions you need to be considering when you're looking at, do you need to bring in someone else? Those are the conversations that you need to have because this is not about taking away dignity. It's about making sure seniors receive the level of support their current condition requires. And honestly, many seniors improve emotionally and physically once the family finally gets them some assistance. Families are usually shocked when sleep improves, nutrition improves, their anxiety decreases, socialization improves, medications become more routine and consistent. You have to understand moving your parent or getting them help is not a bad thing. Stop thinking that it's going to hurt your mom and dad when you're trying to help them because them struggling alone is exhausting. Seniors don't want to struggle. They just don't know how to say they need help. And some seniors don't need less independence. They need more support around their independence. Think about that. I'm just saying. So the guilt families carry, let's talk about this because, whew, child, baby, being a caregiver, that guilt is heavy, heavy. It is so bad. Families feel guilty considering placement. Families feel guilty hiring help. Families feel guilty feeling tired. And the list goes on and on and on. And some caregivers silently judge themselves every single day. That's a huge weight to carry. That can be so stressful. But hear me carefully. One person cannot realistically carry full caregiving responsibilities forever without support. Eventually, burnout will show up. It's going to creep up in the situation faster than you can even wrap your head around it. And emotionally, mentally, physically, you will be burnt out. And a burnt out caregiver will stop functioning well. And that's why support matters. That's why respite matters. That's why asking for help matters. Because caregiving was never meant to destroy the caregiver in the process. Think about that. If you feel like you're being destroyed and your life is in shambles, something's wrong. Something is wrong. You should not have to completely fall apart just to prove you love somebody. You shouldn't. So thank you for writing in that letter. I hope that you go ahead and get your mom some help because it's very clear. Your letter was short and to the point, and that's exactly what you need to do. If today's episode gave you some insight on what you should be doing or what your family should be doing, or you know a family that is struggling with these exact decisions, and listen, I know these conversations are painful, but avoiding reality does not stop the decline. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is acknowledge that your parent deserves more support than the current situation can provide. Thank you for tuning in to A Touch of Love Talks, the podcast. And share this with someone that you may know that is struggling with these very topics. And write in. Y'all are doing a great job with writing in. The email is a touch of love talks at gmail.com. And make sure you go to YouTube and watch as I talk about these topics. Subscribe, like, follow, comment. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for listening. Until next time, bye.
All right, loves, that's it for now. If this conversation helped you in any way, then go ahead and subscribe so you can stay connected. And don't forget to hit that bell so you can be in the right place at the right time to get the right information. Hey, until next time, protect your peace and advocate for the one you love.